Test, 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 test 1, 2. Okay, here we go. Hello, one person in the chat room, 2 people. What's up, Frederick? Not much. It is Friday morning here in San Francisco, and I woke up, I biked to my working spot, and I'm here excited to talk about dapps, chilling, I'm excited because it's the last week of this course. We made it. Decentralized AI is the last week. And we have a lot of great content coming up for you guys. So I'm excited about that. Also excited about the final. How are you? How's life? I'm going to wait until we have like 20-ish people, and then we can get started. We're almost there. In the meantime, we can just chill for a bit. 12 people. We're almost at that magic number. Yes. Just chilling. Hello, everybody. Welcome to dapps Weekly, the one and only. All right. So I am just going to get started here. Yeah. Ask away, questions, comments, anything really. It's all fair game. You guys can hear me, right? Everything's good. Everything is working. 16 people are in the room. Let's go with the questions. dapps related, AI related, future related, personal life, even anything really. It's all fair game. It's all fair game. Okay. Yeah. As a crypto advisor, I've gotten the request. I just, I need to set up a system to do that, pretty much. What would it take? It would take, just email me with an offer. Just email me with an offer, and then I'll look at it. I'll at least reply if there's something in it if it's like a two-way thing. It's like you're helping me, I'm helping you. I will reply. Mark asks, how can we deal with push notifications in decentralized tech stack? That's a great question. So if you've ever dealt with push notifications with iOS, there's a very detailed way of doing that where you are dealing with the Apple middleware that has nothing to do with the local machine, right? That push notification service. The same goes for Android. And for decentralized software, there's not really a middleware yet. No one's created a push notification middleware. No one's even thought about that. I don't think anyone's even thought about that yet. Not that I've seen. I haven't seen anything related to that. So I think that's a great opportunity. So what this would be just a general protocol for all decentralized apps, like decentralized push notification, like DPNS software. I think that's a great use case. DPNS. You could call it something like that, and then you would use some kind of real-time peer-to-peer protocol to get the notifications out as soon as possible. Yeah. Why hasn't someone done that? That should definitely be a thing. You would have to have the app running in the foreground or the background of the user's mobile device, but I think it would work. Yeah. I would take Apple's push notification service and then see where they're using servers and then replace those servers with IPFS nodes. Hi, Fahad. Thank you. Nikolai asks, your thoughts on collaborative AI agent building and incentivizing people to contribute better data and models with cryptocurrency. What are your favorite projects in that area? Yeah. So the project that I'm starting to like more and more is SingularityNet. I was kind of skeptical at first, but they have quite a runway in terms of capital. They have quite a community that they're building. They're actually doing this and they have some great documentation, right? So that's important to me. Great documentation. That's one way to get developers on board for your project. So Singularity Net is one example. Another example would be Ocean Protocol, and then OpenMind. But those aren't necessarily collaborative AI agent building, but they are incentivizing people to contribute better data and models with cryptocurrency. And then one more that's kind of like you wouldn't think is Numerai. Numerai. I think that's it. They are very profitable for both the creators, the founders, and for the users, the data scientists. That's one example of a DApp where everybody is earning money. Everybody is earning money in that DApp. So any kind of twist on that model is a great idea. I think huge potential for revenue. Frederick asks, how would you handle transacting private data, such as for health data marketplace, with distributed data storage? Great question. Yeah. So OpenMind has thought about this problem deeply, and we're going to talk about that in the last week. So this coming week, literally. But basically, the idea is that you are encrypting the data via a smart contract. So the data is encrypted when you are sending it. And not just the data, but the model weight files are encrypted as well. Because sometimes you can take a trained model, you can decrypt it, and you can basically reverse engineer the data that it trained on by just using the model itself. So even that is dangerous, right? So giving someone a pre-trained model on private health data, here you go, I'm still going to keep the data, here's a pre-trained model. They could still decrypt those weight values and try to see what that original data was. So it's important to crypt not just the data, but the weights of the model. And to do this in a decentralized way, you would have to do all of this using smart contracts. And I would refer you to, we're going to have content on this in this coming week, but I would also refer you to OpenMINED screencast Trask on YouTube for a great explanation of how this would work. But this applies to all private data. Also, DeepMind, they did something with training on private data with the NHS, the UK health service. That wasn't necessarily decentralized, but they did use the blockchain. DeepMind actually used the blockchain for this, which I think was very interesting. So if you search DeepMind blockchain hospital on Google, first or second link. JSK asks, how much time will be given for submitting the final project? That is a great question. We're going to give you 2 weeks. 2 weeks to do that. But basically, just prepare to write a white paper. Okay, prepare to write a white paper, and we're gonna have detailed instructions on how to do that, like what the sections should be. So don't worry, like you're gonna just do this from scratch. But the idea is that we want white papers to result from this course. We want to say that from this course, we actually were able to grow the amateur research community. And no one has ever done this before. This is an invention. This is similar to Intel creating the microprocessor in the 1980s. Like, this is a fundamentally different organization that we are creating. Like, if from this course, we can get students to actually do some kind of amateur research and then submit their findings, that has never been done in an open way before. No one has ever done that before. So that's why I think it's very exciting for us to have a white paper be our final project. And it could be a very small tweak, but it's got to be something that you are exploring that is not known. Like it is an unknown that you are exploring in this white paper. You don't necessarily have to solve a problem, but just document your journey in this research exploration-based environment of what something could be, or what parameter you could tune, or something, or at least a direction that you are going in. Attila asks, I want to build a robot controlled with reinforcement learning. Great. Do you think I should model everything in Unity 3D first and teach my robot there, or I can skip it and jump straight to real life? That's a great question. So one thing that if you ask any roboticist, okay, if you ask anybody actually building robots in a lab environment, they will always say the same thing. It's just chaotic. So what I would say is, well, I'll give you the nuanced answer. So what I would do is, if you are building this for yourself, then just go straight for real life. If you're doing this to document your progress and to impress um, uh, a lab supervisor or a teacher or something, then do it in the simulation first, because then you get partial credit, right? So that's what I would say. Like, if you want to get some partial credit for what you're doing, do it in the simulation. If you're literally just doing it to get that final thing working in real life, just go straight for real life. That's what I would do. And so then you would just control the motors. You would use inverse kinematics for the arm, and yeah, you would just try to do something very simple in real life, like just one simple thing, like pick up the glass, and then just build from there. Don't just be like, my project is to have this robot fold laundry, all of the laundry. No, no, no. Start off with like folding a t-shirt, all right, and then iterate from there. Sravant asks, Ethereum or Stellar, which is better to build a medium DApp with speed and scalability? What do you think? Speed. Okay, so Ethereum. I would say Ethereum. So Stellar. So I was at this blockchain conference in New York, like for this crypto award thing. But more importantly, I was there for Consensus Week, and I didn't vlog about it. I didn't like talk about it a lot, but oh my god, this space is insane. Like there's some really, this is a whole new universe. Like this whole space is like a whole new universe. There's like, I remember this after party. This dude pulls up in a Lamborghini. He comes out. He's got like this big beard, long hair. He's, kind of big. He's got two like 10 out of 10 like models on either arm. And he's walking into the club. I'm waiting in line outside. Literally, I left later, but like, I was like, this is new money. This is, and everybody was dressed crazy, like colorful rainbow colors. I don't want to get too off topic, but my point was like, when I was there in New York for Blockchain Week, Stellar was very much hated on. Like people didn't like Stellar because, well, one, because of the founder, Jeb McCaleb, who people just they don't trust him as much for things that he's done, and two, because Stellar is really like a clone of Ripple. If you look at it, Stellar took Ripple's code base, literally forked it, and then added some modifications. And Ripple, as we know, is not decentralized at all. Ethereum it has the most developer momentum behind it, but yes, it's not as scalable or fast as we'd like. But I think that it has the best hope to be scalable so far, and that's what we just have to deal with. I mean, the entire space, every single project, scalability is at the front of the debate. Okay, so it's not like somebody has the solution. Hashgraph claims to have the solution to scalability. Well, it turns out it's a private ledger, right? If you have a private ledger, you don't need proof of work because you have you're able to verify all transactions by a trusted node, right? So of course you can scale. So a lot of times these projects will say that they are, super scalable. Well, it turns out that they're a private ledger, so it doesn't matter, right? If you are a public ledger and you are scalable, then you have something that's world changing. But so far, no one has done that. Nikolai asks, favorite use case of proof of location enabled contracts? Proof of location, okay. Interesting. So one I think would be like a game, like an augmented reality game where someone has to go somewhere and then prove that they are there. So Pokemon Go would be an example. Like I'm in this gym in this city. I'm here, whatever. You can prove that you are in that location without using a centralized API like Google Maps. So that would be one. So an augmented reality game. And I'll say another one. I'm sure with ride sharing, there's a way to integrate proof of location. And one more, I just want to do one more. Meetups, right? So if you're in an area, flash mobs, events, proof of location, like I'm in this space, I'm here at this time in this space, in space time. Yeah, proving that you are in a certain location is important for community-based events. Alex asks, this space is arguing that blockchain will change how we do transactions with goods and stuff, okay? But how can we place, let's say, water on the blockchain? People need to be trusted when they add it, or right? Yep. Okay, so I would refer Alex you to my video AI for supply chain. But TLDR, if I am a company and I want to I'm a water bottle company. Let's say I'm a water bottle company and I'm selling vitamin water. And I have a factory in Detroit that is making these water bottles. And I have retail stores in Texas that I want to distribute these water bottles to customers, right? How do the water bottles get from Detroit to Texas? Well, there are three middlemen along the way. Okay, so there's the manufacturing firm in Detroit, there's a bottling company in Wisconsin that has got to go get the bottle caps. Then there's the quality check in Kansas. Then there's the Truck Drivers Association in Nebraska. And so this water bottle has to go like, think of it like a graph, right? With these three nodes before it ends up in the final node, right? Normally, along the way, we have to trust all of those middlemen to say that, yes, this water bottle did this, that it was transferred here, 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 here. So just think about it as a timeline, right? When you order a package on Amazon, there's a timeline and you're waiting for that, all those check boxes to be shipped. So there is someone you are trusting to say that it is in their position. But what we can do is when one of those middlemen sends it off, they can send a timestamp to the blockchain to say that I have received it. And no one can modify that timestamp. And so the water bottle itself is there in real life, but the record of the location of the service rendered, all of that is timestamped on the blockchain. And so every time it's being sent, we can say that it was here at this time at this location, and we know in a provable way. So we don't need a planner, essentially. So we would have a fourth party or an overhead saying, okay, I'm tracking the location it's going. We don't need that tracker. The people who are actually delivering those goods could just like press a button, and you can make an app that does this, and then it goes to the blockchain, and then you know that it has gone there. Uh, so so yeah, I mean, people could be trusted. You could get the people to do this, um, but yeah, it limits the amount of people. So there are still people in the loop, yes, but it's less people. So you need one less person tracking it, which obviously, it seems like a small incremental improvement. But when it comes to supply chain technology and supply chain industries, that's a huge amount of money, and they're willing to pay for that. Frederick asks, do you see Amsterdam as an AI and blockchain hub? I lived in Amsterdam for a year. I liked Amsterdam. I didn't like the weather. I see Amsterdam as yeah, I see it as a hub. I see it as a hub for sure. Um, yeah, not like a world-changing hub or something. I mean, look, Amsterdam has some great conferences. Like that's the reason I ended up there. I went to a conference there called the Next Web a year ago, and I moved a week later because, uh, yeah, I just really like the vibe of the city. Like it's a cool city, but that's not to say that you're gonna start meeting these like world-changing uh, researchers there. Yeah, I mean, but it is close to London. It is close to Berlin. It's close to everything, so it's well situated, and they definitely are investing in it as a startup hub. So I do see potential there, and yeah. So I would, if you're in Europe, like I would, if I had to pick a European city to live in, I would pick Amsterdam again. I would say so. Um, yeah, maybe London actually, but London's not really Europe anymore. But yeah, Amsterdam or London. Berlin is too like the architecture just I don't like it. Anyway, no hate to Berlin though. I just don't like the architecture. All right. Alex asks, okay, how can you guarantee that the bottle wasn't changed with something else in it? Because if you can't, how does it help? And yeah, probably one small amount of improvement. Right. Right. Um, right. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. It's not like you can send the exact I mean, there's like a seal. There's like you're like offloading trust onto the seal of a water bottle, right? So like if someone opens it, you can tell. So there's like that's like a smart contract in a way. That's like a decentralized physical smart contract because right because no one owns it and you can see if it's been broken. So that's like proof of seal basically on the water bottle. But yeah, like it's basically just to offload record keeping from some company to the blockchain. That's what it is. Um, AI will take care of everything else. AI can replace the people who are actually driving the trucks. AI can replace the people who are planning the shipments. AI can replace the people who are um, in charge of assembling the product itself in the factory with robots. So AI will replace most of the stack, and then blockchain can replace the record keeping part of it. When it comes to trusting the ingredients inside of the product, that that is yeah. I don't think blockchain can prevent someone from just like slipping something in there. So yeah, that is a good question. It's a good question to ask. If the water bottle seal is shit, if some party really wants to change it, even then, okay, look, trust, the need to trust humans is not going to go away. Okay, nothing will replace the need to trust humans. I would refer you to The Trust That Binds, one of my two favorite videos I've ever made. Not that it got that many views, but like, whatever. Uh, the need to trust won't go away, and we shouldn't be aiming to create trustless systems, but more trustful systems where we can trust humans. It's easier to trust humans. So that's what we should be aiming for. And yeah, right, right. So Nikolai has a great point as well. Exactly. We have 8 more minutes, guys. Like, come on, let's see what we're going. HTC announced that they're going to launch a blockchain phone. What do you think about it? I think that's great. I think that's great. I would use it. Guys, I bought an Alexa. Okay. I bought an Alexa and I never keep it plugged in because I'm so paranoid. This thing is like in the corner of my apartment. It's dark, like it looks scary, and it's listening to everything that I am doing. Like I'm afraid. I'm even afraid of my phone, like because they are listening all those apps in the foreground. I don't know whose permission I gave what to see hear what I'm doing or what. They could be listening to this, right? So yes, I love the idea. I would love to use it. Um, it's unclear exactly how you're going to use the blockchain for an operating system, but yeah, I yes, I like the idea. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. Alexa is yeah, I'm about to return this thing. It's a little too much for me. But yeah, also Google Duplex. There's no way that it was able to do that robustly. Give me access to this duplex thing and let me test it on literally any other person or like hair salon. I'm telling you, like they were just fudging it. Really, there's no way that it was that good because that would that would change the game so hard. There's no way. There's no way that would change the game, guys. Okay, um, exactly. Proving to investors. So, by the way, the best projects, the most trustworthy projects, Ocean Protocol, OpenMind, um, Balance.io, they don't ask for an ICO. They don't ask for an ICO. If you're going to use a token, make sure that it is a token that is usable for some utility. Like there's some reason. Like really think about, could I do this with a state currency? And if the answer is yes, don't use a token. But if you can really think of a use case, gaming, um, you know, shares, ownership, shared ownership in a company for a token, then use the token. And try to bootstrap it yourself and try to get something running first, then have an ICO and cap it at a small amount and uh, do it the right way. Like get a regulator, like do it the regulated way of whatever country you're in. Don't try to like do this off the cuff thing, like be like, dot your I's, get your legal paperwork ready. Because you want not only to win the trust of your audience, of your users, but you want to win the trust of your local government, because if they come after you, you will be in jail. And we don't want to be in jail. I refer you to Tupac jail video. Just search Tupac jail. It's not fun in jail, okay? At least in the States. Maybe in Sweden it's a little funner because you get Xbox and stuff. Anyway, Frederick asks, what do you think is the best platform for blockchain interoperability? Great question. Cosmos Network, for sure. Nathan says, oh, that's really interesting. An NFC chip that breaks when the bottle opens. There we go. What a smart solution. It seems like an expensive solution, yeah, because you're paying for the consumer is paying for that NFC chip, but it is a solution, and there's certainly a market for that. A luxury market. We got 3 minutes, guys. Stay with me here. Ask some questions. Blockchain, yes. How to make the AI avoid bias or correct from bias. It all comes down to the training data, right? So you look at your data set. If you are labeling, some certain minority group as something like bad in the data set, of course your AI is going to learn that. It's like a child, right? If you are teaching your child something, if you are telling your child something bad, the child's going to learn that. So it's about the parent. And as a data scientist, you are the parent for this AI child, right? So give it some good milk. By good milk, I mean good data that is labeled properly. So really take the time to observe, to look at your data, no matter how big it is. Make sure that there is not some bias against, at least if it's readable data. But if it's like numerical data, then you just have to account for bias by knowing what it could be beforehand. And if you spot it, then you can remove that bias by removing that, say, feature from the data set, or by removing, say, those outliers. So you can perform some kind of dimensionality reduction technique where like TSNE or PCA, principal component analysis, and then find those anomalies. And usually it's those anomalies that will add to the bias. And yeah, and then remove those anomalies as those data points. And then correcting it from bias is then retraining the AI on some other data set or more data. So more data that is quality. But yeah, it really comes down to the data. Guys, if we can create services that give people data more readily, that would be awesome. Qtum Wallet, I haven't tried it yet. By the way, I want to say one thing about data, by the way. So right now, right, nobody is thinking of how important data is. Like I'm talking about like the waves in the ocean. Like I want to know how high a certain wave at 32 meters off the coast of San Francisco went at 7:30 a.m. on a Friday. That level of detail of data, no one is capturing. But that level of detail is what we need. We need data about literally everything you could ever think. We need data about the length of this conversation. We need data about the mentality of people inside of this chat room. And we need all of this data to be open. And just imagine when we get to this world where all of this data is available to everybody. You can train an AI to do anything. We'll literally become gods when we do that. So we need to democratize data. We need to create data from everything. And that's the dream of the Internet of Things, of blockchain, and of smart contracts, of creating systems that openly share the data. Last question. Did Google Duplex pass the Turing test? It did, technically, because the Turing test is that a human cannot tell if an AI is an AI or a human. And the lady clearly in the demo thought that it was a real human. So it passed the Turing test. Last question. What's your intake on AGI and ASI? Well, AGI is not here yet, but I still have high hopes for it in like 10 years. ASI, superintelligence, is I am hoping that it happens very soon. And I hope that the person who creates it has humanity's interest in mind. Last question. Do you think self-driving car is going to make private car ownership in big cities useless? Yes. Yes, I do. I do. We're all going to be using shared fleets of electric cars, at least in San Francisco to start, and then the rest of the world. All right. So that's it for these questions. Thank you guys for showing up. I love you guys. And I'll see you next week. So enjoy the course. And yeah, bye.